Okay. Let's meet my first guest. You know him because he's a former House Majority Leader, and you also know him because really, among the Tea Party, he's pretty much a guru. And he's an author these days, too. Dick Armey is here. Good to see you.
Ma'am.
And I want to give everybody the title of your book, Give Us Liberty, a Tea Party Manifesto. So you know what you speak of when you talk Tea Partyhood. But I want to talk first money. And, you know, arguably, our discussions about debt might not be as far along as they are with this current president if it had not been for the Tea Party. And you've got this idea of cut, cap, and balance. What is it?
Well, first of all, we all understand that the biggest problem that faces the American country and our economy is this government is too big. It's too wasteful, too inefficient, just too big. So cut the size of government and get it down, back down to 18% of GNP. Quite frankly, I think that it maybe should be less than that. And do so judiciously by getting rid of, nonsense programs. That allows you to have the resources to more efficiently allocate to the programs of priority and effectiveness in the lives of the American people.
Right.
Then cap it at that level, and then that allows you to get the government out of the way for growth of the private sector so that you can generate the revenues to get to a balanced budget and therefore not have to be raising the debt ceiling for continued borrowing in the future.
Are you suggesting that we try to balance the budget how often?
Well, we haven't done a very good job. We did get it balanced in the mid-'90s, quite frankly, because of the very rigorous
So a decade
program.
ago, roughly.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
But then what happened is the government went on a spending spree again. Those of us across the country has to deal with the realities of the real world in our own life and understand the difficulties. It's not always fun to cut back on your own budget and to reallocate within your own budget.
Fun or easy.
Yeah. Well, we see these folks in Washington as almost like a bunch of kids that think they found the money tree, so that they can spend forever.
Now, I'm not hearing you call names. Are you saying both sides?
Well, yeah. And then the other thing you need to understand. The Tea Party movement was born out of frustration, anger, even disgust with the Republicans in the majority when they went wild with their spending. And then when President Obama came in, he just doubled down on the same kind of crazy, irresponsible spending. And our folks got grievously concerned about the future of this country. Now we're at a point where we're running deficits like $1.5 trillion. This is unheard of. It's unimaginable, and it's wholly inexcusable.
You say it was born out of anger and frustration with the GOP. Are you still angry?
Well, the problem is, and watch this current debate. We watch the White House go back and forth.
Current debate over the debt ceiling and whether or not to raise it. About 80% of all that we can discern is why are they wanting to do this or that is political. Their whole choice. Yeah, but that's not a breaking news headline. I understand, right? Hasn't it always been like that?
Right, call us naive. We have this naive notion that if you're given the public trust of a position of high responsibility, that you ought to spend your time and effort in that position on the nation's business, take your politics back out of the halls of Congress, take your politics out of the White House, take them out of the venues of legitimate, serious adult duty, and take your politics back to the streets where politics belongs. But when you're sitting in the White House and you make just purely asinine commentary, like if I don't get what I need and want by August 2nd, I'm going to have to stop cutting Social Security checks, that's a political comment. It makes no sense. It's not at all possible. It's designed to scare the elderly and mobilize them against the Republicans. So, and the fact of the matter is the Republicans come back and say, all right, well, we'll give you a series of opportunities to raise it and so forth. And so it's political discussion. Our folks are saying, you got serious work to do here.
Okay.
Get down to it.
I'm getting a lot of feedback right now. Not a lot of questions, but just a lot of, we love you.
Well, I can live with
Which
that.
is okay, too. Ken Wells totally agrees we got to get the GNP below 20%. Okay, you mentioned your first thing that you do is you'd cut. And you'd said no nonsense programs you'd keep.
Right.
But what's a nonsense program?
Well,
What
I'll
can we
tell you
get rid
my
of?
first best example of a completely asinine program that's an insult to the American people is AmeriCorps. We spend $1 billion.
What does AmeriCorps do?
AmeriCorps gives grants of financial grants to young people to teach them how to be charitable.
And you don't think that's a good
It's
idea?
stupid. It's
Why?
stupid. First of all, don't you remember the candy stripers?
Yes.
American kids are good kids. They go out. They do.
Well, they
their
didn't have
duty.
grants to do the candy
No,
stripers.
well, they do now because the federal government got poked their silly nose in it. But the fact is,
We gave money to a program that was already working without federal
George Herbert
dollars?
Walker Bush
Okay.
stopped AmeriCorps from coming into existence because he knew it to be an insult to the character of the American people. Then it got passed during the Clinton years. Under George W. Bush, it got doubly funded. You know. So you take a bad idea grows like a weed in Washington. Good ideas are hard to come by.
Oh, that's a great line.
It is a great line.
You're good for
came
that.
to me. Yeah.